press ready. Up. Up. The reality is when we start doing this type of shooting, you're going to have misses. And it's totally okay. We want basically like an 80-20 kind of rule here, right? As long as you're getting 80% of your hits inside of the black, that's a good day. You intended to shoot the bad guy at least one more time. You guys agree? Yeah. But your gun is empty. You're going to slowly bring it back. You're looking at the magazine well while you retrieve your magazine. You look at it while it goes in. Bring your hands up. Boom, you're on the target. You're ready to shoot. You can go faster. Even if they start opening up, as long as they're in the black, you can go faster. The reality is, most people, they think that shooting is one skill. But the reality is, we are stacking lots of different skills on top of each other. So grab, grip the gun, hold the pistol straight up. So do you see how it's never oriented at my body? You're gonna get the gun here, and then you extend it out right at the target. Yes, okay. So Joe, demonstrate it right here to everybody. So watch him. Grab the gun, orient it out, to the high compress ready. So it's right first. Extend out, and then he's gonna fire. Boom, boom. And now go ahead and be closer. So watch as he pushes his hips forward as he reinserts that gun. That one was good. The one before that, you were doing something a little bit weird. Okay. So whatever you did that time is perfect.
What is up, guys? Ryan G.
Hello.
And Tiffany the
T.
Pickle.
And Tiffany T. There, matches.
Chilling in our cold garage.
It's so cold. You know, we can't win. We're either too hot or we're freezing. I had to go make a quick latte and...
Nobody is shocked by the fact that you have a latte.
Yeah, and 2 minutes ago, I was sitting by my fireplace as close as I could get on the little stool like this.
By fireplace, it's like an electric fireplace that just like pumps heat out full of asbestos or whatever.
Yeah, but sorry we missed you guys last week. Ryan got us banned.
Banned from YouTube for 7 days.
So we could not upload anything on the tube.
I'm not sure what I did.
I still don't know. I think we should just like
They said I'm promoting violence, which is crazy. Because like any video that we show in the live stream, like where there's a shooting or whatever, it's those kind of videos that get flagged and they're like, you're promoting violence. Okay, so the news shows this stuff. Do they get flagged for promoting violence?
It's not like we're like, yay, I'm so happy that bad robber did that. Woohoo!
It's not like we're encouraging people to burn down buildings, riot, or kill police. Anyway.
Oh, I missed that because somebody said something about a G-string in the pants. Keep the G-string in the pants, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't.
Because Tora said that. What did you do?
I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know what that one is. Yeah, so I showed, did you see it, Tiffany? I showed the the promo video that we did for the Sheepdog Masterclass.
I didn't see it because did you see that a few minutes before the live, I was scrambling to get everything going because my sister popped by and then I was like, chitty chat with her. And then I was like, I need to make a latte. And then before I know it, Ryan is screaming, 1 minute! So I over here.
I don't sound like that.
That's exactly how you sound, and everybody knows it.
Okay. So we had our very first Sheepdog Masterclass Level 1 last week, 2 weeks ago. Went amazing. What?
So Bill said, wow, Ryan's mustache is filling in nice. Yes, because we are using a special something.
We are using a special something.
That I'll tell you about. Wait, no.
You're going to tell him later?
No, yeah, we're going to tell you guys later. But you will notice Ryan eventually will have an
I am becoming a man.
Ryan will have an epic beard.
I am becoming a man, people, right before your eyes.
He's not. Let's not go overboard.
Tiffany said the other day, she goes, you know, like men that have beards. And I was like, I have a beard. And she goes, no, you don't. I was like, wow.
Probably because I'm French. You know, I have my little stash here. Probably if I didn't like pluck my hairs, I could potentially.
So we'll have a mustache growing competition with my wife? How is that going to make me feel?
Actually, it's not that bad.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm like 90 and I can't grow a proper beard. Okay, well, you're not alone.
Yeah. So anyway, we had the first Sheepdog Masterclass. It was really awesome. We had 6 like great people. Everybody was safe. Lots of cool stuff. Drawing from the holster, emergency reloads. Like Tiff was on camera duty.
I was on camera duty.
So what was like the big takeaway that you saw from the students from the class? Like, what do you think people thought of it?
Well, they loved it. They thought it was great. I thought it was great. It's a long class. It's 3 hours, right?
It was 3 hours of shooting, which was funny. We asked the guys, everybody afterwards, guys and gals, like, how do you feel about 3 hours? And they were like, this should be 4 or 5 hours. Like, I want to keep shooting.
Are you guys okay? Do you need, are you tired from standing? Are you tired from shooting? But no, everybody was like,
because,
okay with it.
This is everybody, you go to a gun range and you try to do the cool stuff, like shoot as fast as you can. And you get yelled at. So this is like the first time these people, I said, we can do whatever we want. As long as nobody gets hurt. We can shoot fast. We can do anything, right? Yeah. So I think that was really exciting for people. It was really fun for them to kind of push their skills.
Yes, and we can do anything within reason of your capabilities, right? So, if you're dangerous,
then we're not going to let you draw from concealment. Yes. Tiffany's very concerned about this if you haven't figured this out by the way now.
Well, no, it's just, safety first, always.
Yeah, and it's safety always first. It's just like any class that I teach, we're going to teach to the lowest person, right? So if we got somebody there who it can't be safe, then that person has to skip out on that drill or that person. But everybody that is in this class started learning how to shoot. I shouldn't say everybody. 4 out of the 6 people just started learning how to shoot 2 to 3 months ago.
Yes, but
they've been shooting with me lots, like 5 and 6 hours at the range with me over a 3-month period.
Yeah, exactly. So they've had 5+ hours of professional instruction already. So anyway, everybody did a great job. I thought the class was awesome. I'm not used to being stuck with you in a room for 3 hours.
Yep.
So that was
not good. Okay.
And then we had barbecue after, right?
Yep.
So we went out to barbecue after, everybody, the whole group. And Ryan, like his normal self, got a ton of barbecue sauce all over his clothes.
It was really sad.
All over his face. Yeah, can't take you anywhere. Can't take you anywhere.
Okay, what's up, guys? I see Bill Emmerich, Tom Cigars. Good to see you. Bill Alexander. Let's see. Metal makes me crazy. Somebody liked the very first comment on here. I had to block the person from YouTube.
What?
It was something about Satan and Christ, and I was like, I don't have time for you, man.
Well, maybe you just misread it sometimes.
No, I didn't misread it.
Okay.
This guy was nuts.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't need that. So
Oh, you're welcome, Bill. I'm happy that you got your book. I did see, Bill, I saw your comment about the email. Just shoot me an email if you need that email again with the link to the audiobook. If you purchased the Shoot, Don't Shoot book and you still need access to the audiobook and the worksheets, then just shoot me an email. But I'll send everything out again. Check your spam. I think sometimes these emails, because they come from a large, mass mailing, that I think they go into spam sometimes. So most people have it.
Okay, Canic Bill, next class. We are actually, my goal is to announce it next week. So my goal is by next Monday.
Or to open up registration, because we're only going to take in like probably.
Yeah, because also this is a class that we're not just going to allow however many people want to sign up to sign up. So it's very, very restricted because frankly, I don't have enough time to teach 1,000 of these courses every week.
For 3 hours.
Yeah, I just don't have that much time. Yeah. So it's probably something that we'll do twice a month.
No.
Whatever. I'll decide it. But next Monday. I'll have it all by next Monday. All right, guys. We got some pretty crazy stories. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel before we go.
Welcome, Amy. She said, wow, I haven't made it to a live in forever. Well, we're so happy that you're here. We're so happy that everyone's on here tonight. So good to have everyone. Listen, just a quick question. Say yes or no on here. Whose palm trees froze? Because Ryan was outside like a madman. I think we put like a total of like 14 bed sheets on all of our palm trees, and he had to get the ladder.
Trying to save him, man. It took me forever. I'm freezing. I'm shaking.
Because when we moved to the house, we put in new Christmas palms and the royal palms and the foxtails, which apparently can't really, like down south they're okay, but coming up further, like Tampa, it's iffy. You have to be careful. So we covered everything, and then today he took the sheets off, and they're all brown.
They're all
right?
brown, frozen. Yeah,
they're all brown. So just wondering, did you guys experience that on your palm trees as well?
Yeah. What the hell is going on? Like, I go out there this morning. There's ice everywhere on all our vehicles.
The kids, though? Jackson was so excited about the frost that he called snow. He opened the sunroof, he scraped off all the frost from my car, put it in a cup, and he's like, Mom, can I make a snow cone? He was begging me to make a snow cone. I'm like, that's disgusting. You can actually see the brown. He's like, please. I said, whatever, do whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, so the kids were so excited. They thought it was snow.
Okay. I'm very pissed off because my palm trees are dying. Okay? I live in Florida for a reason.
Okay, so Drew says, no sense covering them if you don't put heat under them. I almost got hit by a falling iguana. There's a whole bunch on YouTube that iguanas.
No, I saw when I was reading the paper today, there was an article that said you will find, like, I guess it's down in Miami or whatever, you're going to find frozen iguanas. Yeah. Do not bring them into your house.
Yeah, and then
when they thaw out. Yeah. I just thought they would freeze and die. They don't just die?
Their blood slows so much that they just fall over and then they thaw out and then they're good to go.
Maybe now's the time. Like, aren't they an invasive species? Isn't now the time to just go and start murdering all of them? Or is that going to get me banned from YouTube?
That sounds so terrible, but if they are... the thing is, I know they're invasive, but I think they look cool. Like when we went for a drive down
to Key West, Miami,
it was cool to see them, right? On the edge of the water and stuff. I thought it was kind of cool to see, so it's too bad they're invasive, but anyway.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this first epic road rage shooting.
Oh, this guy down in Miami.
Oh my God. Oh, fuck off.
You know, unfortunately, this is the type of Florida gun owner that really scares me because this guy thought what he was doing was legal. Like he very confidently went and pulled his gun out. He had his gun. We're going to call that like a low ready position, right? Where he had the gun like extended. And this is why, you know.
He had lots of time to think this through.
Lots. And like he's the one that. Maybe he's not the one that started it, but he definitely agitated it.
The guy didn't.
Somebody else like cut him off or whatever.
But that's it. So what? Big deal. Someone cuts you off in traffic.
I know, but then he brake checks him, and he just allowed it to escalate, right? So what are your thoughts on this incident?
I think it's freaking insane. Absolutely insane. And once again, what I said, a million times, that it is disgusting to me to see the lack of, there's no lack of control, but also disregard for human life. Like, are you kidding me? Somebody cuts you off and now you're, did you also notice that he's like you're not even watching the freaking road, buddy.
So I need to develop a class on how to shoot your gun accurately while doing 75 miles an hour on a freeway.
Dude, this guy's a psycho. I don't know.
The guy is a psycho because you know what's interesting about this is you're just blasting rounds, over a dozen rounds this guy fired, right? So you don't know. One of the requirements is we need to know what's in front of and beyond our target, right? That guy doesn't know where those rounds are going to land. No. Now, thank God, nobody actually got hit and nobody got killed. But listen, man, how are you going to feel if that bullet goes into my car and kills one of my kids?
No, that
goes
guy
into
needs
a
to go
neighborhood.
To jail. He needs to go to jail.
To prison.
Yes.
For a very long time.
Yep.
To think about what the hell he just did.
Yeah.
What sucks, though?
And it needs to send a message to people that, guess what? Somebody brake checks you, you don't get to pull out.
He brake checked the other person.
And the other guy just came in front
the
of
other guy
okay,
so the other driver was pulling up behind him and tailgating.
Okay.
So that guy, you can see it in the video, he brake checked them.
Okay.
And then when people brake check, then they speed up, right?
Right.
So the other driver's speeding up. So then the other driver decides, I'm going to pull up beside this psychopath guy, right? His name's Eric.
Yeah.
And then apparently the other driver chucked a water bottle at the shooter's vehicle. And then when it hit, and that's
Two idiots, but still.
Two idiots. But that's what he's claiming. He said, when the water bottle hit, I thought it was a gunshot. So now he feels like he has a right to shoot. Even if that is legit. If I'm in my car.
That's not self-defense.
No.
You don't even know where you're freaking shooting.
You don't even have a clue what's happening.
It's disgusting.
So if somebody shot at my car like that, the first thing that I would do is I would lock my car up. I would brake. Yeah. Even if other cars plowed in behind me. Because that other driver's going to keep going. I'm going to be out of the lane of fire. Yeah. And I'm going to get my family to safety, right?
Yeah.
But shooting back, because I know it's going to be very hard to make an accurate shot. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of innocent people that you might kill. Even if you have a legal right to shoot that other driver, right? You shoot and kill the other driver. But a stray bullet hits some little old lady. You're going to go to prison for hurting that little old lady.
Yeah.
We are responsible for where our bullets go.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, so Jonathan, that's a good point, dude. He says awareness, avoidance, and evasion.
Yes.
I think that's smart. Mm-hmm. I think you got to be aware to the fact that I call it a high emotion moment is happening, right? You got this road rage thing happening. You got to just realize this is not worth it, dude. Mm-hmm. Just let this guy go, wave, because that pisses people off, right? Just wave and smile and let the guy go. And then if they want to brake check you, you just got to slow down.
Yeah,
and you just got to let there be a lot of distance and then just move on, right?
Honestly, even people that, I don't know. This world is so crazy.
Yeah, and then Joe says, why does somebody like this have a dash cam? It just shows how clueless they are.
That's what I was saying,
Dude.
too. And I was like, oh, why did he release this? Did he think he was, did he call the cops and he was like, I'm in the right, man. I got all this on video.
Listen, we're going to learn a lot about this guy over the next couple years or whatever, as this goes to trial or whatever. Yeah. I guarantee you, this guy went to the interrogation with the detectives.
Think it.
And was like, hey, man, stand your ground.
Yeah.
I thought he was trying to shoot me, so I had a right to shoot.
Shots are fired. Yeah. Turns out later it's a water bottle.
But so that's not even the issue, though. Because, again, reasonable belief. What if reasonable belief turns out to be wrong? But that's not the point.
Look at the way he was shooting, though. Nowhere, I don't know. The car barely pulled up and he started firing. And then the car wasn't even there. And he was just shooting erratically.
Yeah.
So it just seems complete nonsense. I don't know.
Crazy.
What if he killed the driver doing 70 miles an hour and there's a car with no driver? No kidding. There is so many things that could have went.
So he's saying a big car accident, a big pile
there's so
up
many
or whatever.
things that could have went terribly wrong here. What if he would have gotten into a car accident or, did it? Because look at the way he was driving. He slouched right back. His eyes started going like this and he was like this. He didn't have any control over that weapon.
So here's the scary part about this video, though. So it's only January, right? This is the last day of the month. We've had like 8 shootings just like this in the last 30 days. Yeah. So epic. One of them happened in Lakeland. Maybe this one was in like December, but
I'll tell you what. Those guys do not have your shoot, don't shoot book.
Because honestly, people like this are not smart enough to study and read and try to learn the right and wrong thing to do. Because these are people just like Michael Draka that, in my opinion, are looking for a reason to use their gun. Yeah. There are people who have fantasized, maybe is the right word, or like they want to do it. They think there's going to be something awesome about it. And yeah, I mean, you just gave me an awesome video, but you're an idiot who's going to go to prison for probably 20 years.
Yeah, well, thank God that nobody else got hurt, but super crazy. And this guy needs to be made an example of, I think.
But again, the example is being made to smart people, the people that are on here, the people that read books, the people that really want to learn and internalize this stuff, right? Yeah. The dumbasses, they don't care. The dumbasses are going to keep doing dumb stuff because it's in their nature. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So the scary part for me is like, what if you're driving on the freeway and this happens beside you? What do?
Like, I don't know how to say this without getting in trouble, but like, those are the people that shouldn't have guns.
They shouldn't have guns.
They don't, like, I understand it's a God-given right, but I feel like where do you draw the line? Like, that is not somebody that should be walking around in society with a firearm.
I agree. And here's the thing. Not everybody should have guns, but everybody does have a God-given right to own a gun. But it doesn't mean everybody is smart enough to have a gun. There's
the key. You should be smart enough.
Just like there's a lot. I had this debate with somebody in the class today who's a former Marine, very nice guy. And he took the beginner's guide to firearms course. And afterwards, I asked him, what'd you think about the class and whatever. And he said, I think this should be mandatory in the state of Florida. And I said, well, I don't think it should be mandatory because this is our God-given right, and the government just needs to leave us the hell alone.
And people need to take responsibility for themselves and get that training, get that knowledge, read the laws, understand it.
But it's a fine line, right? You got to make the decision yourself on whether you're going to pursue it, or are you just going to wing it and have some crazy stuff happen and you go to jail for it?
Yeah, I guess it would be the same as, driver's license or whatever. You can drive responsibly, or you can, road race or whatever. What's it called? Speed racing?
Road rage.
No, speed
racing. How old are you?
When you're
speed racing?
Yeah, like what's that called?
Racing.
Racing. Okay, so you can be racing or drinking, driving drunk or whatever. If you want to have a car license or driver's license, if you want to have a driver's license, you got to be started. I know you would think that this was wine in here, but no, it's just coffee.
Yes, I get it, dude. Once a Marine, always a Marine. It's not the point. He called himself a former Marine. Okay.
Oh, yes. Gotcha.
I got it. All right, so David says, live in Oklahoma. I study the Oklahoma Self-Defense Act. Keep on my phone and computer. That way, if a cop is not up to date with the law, I have the statutes on my phone. Smart.
Yeah. No, Bill, we do not want the corrupt government to okay who has firearms. We understand that is not a solution. But what we're saying is some people just shouldn't own guns.
Yeah, and like Marcel is saying, people like this make gun owners look really bad,
They're the ones that make all these stupid laws get passed.
Right.
They're the ones that help politicians pass their stupid freaking laws because people see this on the news. They don't see the responsible gun owner going to the range with you learning how. They don't see people on here learning how to be responsible gun owners and discuss these things. They see the idiots. And who do they promote? They promote the idiots.
Yeah.
And sad to say, but Florida's just full of them.
Yeah.
Like,
God bless Florida, man.
I don't know.
All right, you ready for a question?
No more wine for Tiffany. Kevin, I haven't had any wine. I'm just overtired. You know what? I got up at 3 a.m. and I've been working ever since.
Yeah. Was the driver Hunter Biden? No, because, Jonathan, if it was Hunter Biden, this would all be squashed by now.
Nobody would
The media would not be allowed to talk about it. And in fact, I'm probably going to get banned from YouTube for another 7 days for even criticizing somebody in the Biden family.
See, Jess says, all my friends and family who are non-gun owners sent me that video today.
Yeah.
Exactly. It fits perfectly into their agenda.
And
that's
people are like, this is why people shouldn't own guns, or this is why people shouldn't
should
own an AR-15.
Yeah.
Dude, I got 4 AR-15s sitting right here on the floor. Okay? They've never killed anybody. I would show you guys, but they would shut my stream down.
We're not allowed to, yeah.
They've never hurt anybody. They've hurt some pigs, but never a person. Okay? So it's not the gun. It's the people behind it. And just like I think a lot of people are not smart enough to vote, it is not up to the government to say who gets to vote and who doesn't.
Dan the Man, 1642, that actually just happened 2 days ago in Miami. So
It did not happen 2 days ago.
Oh.
It happened in June of last year.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Why did I just see
the video
the
just got
video
released.
just released?
Yeah, I was confused by that too.
Oh, yeah, because I saw that. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, it happened in June, which is crazy that it took so long for like me. I'm pretty in tune with this stuff. Took so long for me to even hear about this.
It's because we get so much of it.
Yeah.
There's so much. You know, unfortunately, there's a lot of videos like
There's
that.
a lot. Yeah. Many,
okay,
yeah.
answer. We got lots of questions tonight because we missed last week.
Okay, question number 1. What age do you recommend teaching your children about guns?
Okay, so this is a former student of yours.
What's the name?
He actually
Unknown.
He
Okay.
texted me on Saturday, and I couldn't find his name. So, he's a former student. He's got kids that
Once a student, always a student.
always a student. So he's got kids like around our age, I believe, is what he said. And he was like, "Hey, when is a good age to start teaching kids about guns?" So I'm gonna start first, if that's okay, because you've been talking all night long. So I say that it actually needs to become a part of your just everyday daily routine. Like every time you see, firearms on TV, stuff like that, just have a discussion about it. So a great discussion that you can have with your kids is starting to teach them firearm safety rules, because every time you watch a movie, you got a guy walking around with his finger on the trigger. So you say, hey, you're not supposed to have your finger on the trigger. You're supposed to leave it on the slide and not put it. So little things like that, and just bring it up so that it's not a big deal. That every single day, or every time something comes on the news, or every time you have the opportunity to talk about firearms, go ahead. And then my next step would be to say, get some BB guns, airsoft guns, and then start off there. Go ahead. So right at 2 years, like I'm talking, as soon as they can start talking and walking, you can start talking about it and teaching them.
Yeah, like literally, I know this may or may not sound crazy. We were talking to our kids about gun safety when they were 1, 2.
The kids also, Lincoln was a year and a half when we opened the gun.
No, he wasn't.
Was 9 months.
No. We opened the gun store in June. He was born in August. So he was born in the gun store.
No, that was Jackson. So Lincoln,
no, it wasn't.
when we were shipping out of our garage, Lori was there to help take care of Lincoln.
Okay, whatever.
So Lincoln was 9 months old. Jackson was born in the gun store. So he was there all the time. Thank you so much,
Thanks, Kathy.
We appreciate you. So we had an obligation to teach them about guns because they're always around guns. Mm-hmm. But even when Paisley was like 3 and 4 years old, you would take her over to Wyoming Antelope Club with her little Savage Rascal and do the little 22 plinking and stuff like that. So they started off very, very young, but then it was just built into kind of everything that we did. It was just talked about all the time. Every time we see a news story or in a movie something happens, we'll explain to the kids, why that's bad, why that was unsafe, why that's not accurate, things like that. And it's just a good way to just bring it up and have it part. So So Mary says I started at 3 years old. Yes, and the Tampa Carry Children's class helped my youngest. Yeah, so we have the kids experts guide to kids and guns, and it's got activity sheets and little videos and stuff like that. So which I think we're gonna
pretty amazing course.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
But
everything we do is awesome because we are awesome.
So that's the answer. Is you can start at any age though.
Yeah, and the sooner the better.
But I definitely think that it has to be something. There's lots of gun owners that are like, oh, I haven't told my kids yet, and I'm like, you need to. Kids need to know. Because just like there's, like Ryan talks about chemicals underneath your sink, and you tell the kids, like, hey, these are dangerous. You have knives in the drawer. Hey, this is something dangerous in the house. You have to have that talk, because just not talking about it
and trying to hide it is not going to protect anybody. No. Like, it's funny. There was a woman in the class a couple days ago, and she said she has a kid. I said, how old is your daughter? And she said 12. And I said, are you going to teach her about guns and about gun safety? And she said, when she's ready. The reality is your daughter is more ready than you are. The problem is the woman, the mother, is not ready.
Right.
But that kid is going to be exposed to guns at a friend's house, at school.
Yeah, and then that's the other big thing. Like, this is America. There's, like, almost a gun in every household. And your kids are going to go to other people's houses, and not everybody is going to be a safe and responsible gun owner. Not everyone is going to have their firearm locked up.
Yeah.
So you have to be able... It's like... You're doing your kids a disservice if you're not letting them know about this and letting them know, hey, if you do ever come across a gun, this is how you handle it. Do not touch it.
And go tell an adult. This is a big deal.
Like that Bradley Hootley, or I think that was his last name, that got shot in Lithia, right? If any of those boys had been taught about this, somebody would have spoke up and said, no, put the gun down, or don't touch, or something like that, especially don't point it at someone and stuff like that. So
sure.
There's just so many stories out there that didn't have to happen because the kids just had no idea.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's see. Another road rage incident. You ready for this one?
Oh, gosh. I don't think I've seen
4 others are hurt after a shootout.
So this one happened in Winterhaven.
Driving through Winterhaven. This happened early this morning.
Okay.
Polk County Sheriff's Office says they are still trying to figure out what started all of this.
No joke.
Reporter Eric Waxler has the latest.
This is a Toyota Camry covered in bullet holes. Investigators in Polk County say it was involved in a shootout after it left a Winterhaven bowling alley early this morning.
We're still counting bullet holes. There's dozens of shots fired.
Sheriff Grady Judd says all 4 people in the Camry were shot. One of the passengers, a 20-year-old, is dead. The others, including 2 17-year-olds, are in the hospital in critical condition. Investigators say the other car, a dark sedan, still hasn't been found, but someone in that car was also shot and dropped off at the hospital.
None of this should happen. Young men aren't supposed to die and get shot up by other young men.
The sheriff says they found 4 guns, marijuana, and cash in the Camry, but they don't know what led to the shooting or who are the suspects and who are the victims. The sheriff's office is also asking for the community's help.
Pretty wild, right?
Yeah, I didn't get to hear.
So they said there was 4 men inside of the vehicle. All 4 of them got shot. 3 of them wounded. 1 of them dead.
Is this gang related?
Probably, because this happened at 1:30 in the morning, I believe. Right. The other driver, the victims, the other people shooting or whatever, because both cars were shooting at each other, right?
Well, yeah, this is clearly gang related.
The other vehicle fled, and they still don't know who those people are or where they are.
Imagine being on the road.
Again.
And you're just driving, and all of a sudden, a full-out firefight.
Massive firefight. And allegedly, all 4 men inside of the vehicle that got shot were shooting back.
Right.
So it's this is just absolutely insane, right? It's not legitimate at all. But again, this is why you don't know who you're dealing with, right?
Yeah, drug deal gone bad. Exactly.
Yeah, obviously. So you might think you're just flipping somebody off or brake checking them or whatever, or flashing your lights.
You don't want to be brake checking that car.
Right.
4 people just pull out guns and unload on you and your family. Oh my gosh. Really makes you think twice about swerving or, pulling in someone or brake checking them or whatever. I mean, that's not something that I do very much, but I have done it. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I have done it because people piss me off sometimes when they're so close to me. I'm like, dude, I don't need you rear-ending me. I got a bad neck from somebody rear-ending me. So just stay your distance. You're not getting anywhere faster. You want to pass me, but stay off my ass.
Yeah.
So I've been known to tap my brakes, but now it's not a good idea.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. You know what would be really cool? This is a business idea that just popped in my head.
Oh, gosh.
What if you could have, in the back of your pickup truck, the big metal barrels, the 55-gallon barrels? You've got, now this is not practical, right? But
clearly, you're starting off with a 55-gallon pail.
No, you gotta
where is this going, Ryan?
You gotta have 3 of them. You gotta have 3 55-gallon drums.
55-gallon drums in your Toyota Corolla.
No, it's got to be a pickup truck.
This is a great idea.
When somebody's tailgating, then you push a button, the tailgate drops, and those things start to roll out.
What
but then
are
they
we,
stop.
freaking Mario Kart? What the hell, dude?
It would be pretty funny.
Okay. Did you, by any chance, put a video? Did you tell everybody about our family adventure the other day?
Oh my God, I totally forgot about it.
You didn't even show the cool tricks I was doing?
I didn't. I'm sorry. I'll get it edited this week, and we will have it for sure next week. It was so cool. I can't even.
So epic.
I totally forgot.
Family fun night. we loaded up. So, okay.
No, don't even tell anybody.
No, we can't.
Okay.
We got to.
Go.
I got to say it. What time is it? Yeah, 7:30. I got time. So, you guys know we bought those little Razor motorcycles for our kids for Christmas, right? Well, Ryan and I love them so much that we bought 2 more. So now we have 5 motorcycles. So we're all
So we
like
started the Valrico Smashers.
We are a full-out gang. Is that her name? The Valrico Smashers?
I just came up with it.
That sounds like a naughty, like, porno. Smashers. We're
the Valrico Swingers.
Smashers. So we loaded up Ryan's truck. Now, this would have been much easier if he didn't have a bunch of pallets in the back that we had to drive the bikes up on. But we loaded up all 5 bikes. We drove down the road to the Dover, like, what is it?
You shouldn't tell the location that we're not supposed to ride motorized vehicles on.
You're not supposed to ride motorized vehicles, but we loaded up the bikes and we went. It's like horse trails and like trails in the bush, and it was so fun. Every now and then we'd get like a little mud, and it was like. It was so awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. We did do some double dog dares. We like found some cool vines and we were like swinging over this ravine.
I didn't do it.
Tiffany was freaked. Tiffany was like
I
panicking.
held on and I was like, I tried my hardest, but it's like over like 30 feet.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
It's like a 30-foot pit, and they want you to grab these vines and swing like freaking Tarzan.
My grandfather gave me some very sage wisdom when I was a child. And he told me one time I was out there playing and he said, Ryan, come here, boy. And he said, Ryan, I want you to remember something that my daddy taught me and I'm teaching you. There are no consequences for your actions.
Oh my gosh. You live by that. It drives me crazy. Was it really your grandpa?
No, I made all that up.
Oh, you just made all that up like that?
Yeah.
You said it with such realism.
See, this is what politicians do to us.
I believed you. No kidding.
You just say it with confidence and you got to move your fist just like this. And then people are like, wow, that guy sounds smart and he's confident.
Melissa says, I love your nails. Thank you. I did them myself, and I'm going to tell you why. So, going to the nail salon, it's like $60 to get your nails done, which is ridiculous, and I'm super cheap. So I went on Amazon, and I bought like the whole little acrylic kit. Now, Ryan is not happy. He complains every time I do it because it smells in the house. But I did my nails.
Smells like a Vietnamese sweatshop.
I did my nails. I did my lashes. I cut my own hair. I cut 6 inches off. You can't really tell. Okay, there. Maybe now people can tell. But I cut 6 inches off. It was like below my boobs. And I dyed my hair. So I did all that.
Oh, you did dye your hair. That makes sense.
And it equaled up to like, if I would have went and had it done, it was over $250. So I'm putting that money aside. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm putting that money aside because I really want to go for a trip to Ireland. That's my goal. Save money to not eat out and cook meals. And then every time I cook a meal, I'm going to like equate it. Like, okay, normally we spend, $50. Here's to no consequences. Thank you, Joe. Oh my gosh. Joe, with your permission, that's going in my Ireland fund. So I don't have my phone here. I even put a picture of Ireland on my face thing, on my thing. Here's the dilemma. Yeah, you can't travel anywhere. Like, they want you to be vaccinated, which is fine. That's fine.
But there goes our sperm business.
But God, nobody wants your sperm, Ryan.
Lots of people want.
Listen, people want sperm that can grow a beard. No, not happy with that one.
No, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Oh, God.
All right, so we got another question here. Ready? Okay, so can you carry your gun into a pet store that shares the same building, suite next to a U.S. Postal Office?
Oh, gosh, I thought I wrote that wrong. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
No, that's right. Yeah, so the answer is yes, because most post offices, when you go, they actually have one building. So that means the post office doesn't own real estate. They're actually leasing the building and the parking lot from the investor that owns it.
Okay.
So that means you cannot have the firearm in the building, and if it is properly posted, you can't have it in the parking lot either. However, a post office is in a strip center, the parking lot, the sidewalk, all of that area is classified as common area, which means if I have to go to the post office, I can park in that common area because no single tenant is leasing it. And as long as I leave my firearm in the vehicle, firearm and knife, I can go into that post office.
I actually got this wrong.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm. Good thing I didn't email them back. I said, great question. We'll answer it on Monday Night Live.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the answer. So it's common area, which means you're allowed to have a gun there because it is not shared by any single tenant.
Gotcha. Makes sense. So, okay. Jonathan wants to know, what's your favorite EDC?
Gun, the Glock 19, Gen 5. I love it. I did get to play one of my students today.
No, just back up a minute, though.
Okay.
So you carried the Glock 19 for like 10 years, and then you actually carried
a couple
the
years
shield
ago
for a little bit just because it came out, and somebody was like, oh, I love the shield. So then Ryan got the shield. You kind of carried that a little bit, like a couple months, probably not that long.
Yeah, so I've played around carrying the shield, the P365, 43X, the 43, the LCP I carried for a little bit.
But the LCP you always just carried as a backup.
In my pocket, yeah.
Yeah. But he came back to his Glock 19, good old faithful. He came back, and that's what he carried. I mean,
now I've just decided that I'll buy other guns, but the Glock 19 is my gun.
And that's what you train with. That's what you're comfortable with. That's what you know how to use.
I feel like it's part of my body.
Yes.
Whereas other guns, I'm just not there. Glocks, I just really love. Now, I'm not somebody that believes Glocks are just the best. I think there's a lot of flaws in Glocks.
Yeah.
But I also enjoy the process of fixing those flaws.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So I can sit up late at night till 1, 2 in the morning, like working on guns and modifying the grips and stuff. And I just think it's a way for me to like zone out a little bit.
Yeah. It's a hobby for you. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, it's not that there's not a lot of other great guns out there.
Because now there's like tons. Like there's
like
so many cool guns.
Hardcore something, right? Like there's, Ford people or whatever. They only like Ford and everything else is crap, or Chevy or whatever. But with guns, Ryan and I are both the same. We love a lot of different guns. So we're not just hardcore one brand. So
buying a good gun is kind of like buying clothing. It's what's going to be comfortable for you. It might not be comfortable for me. Yeah. Like, I don't really like wearing shorts much, right? I prefer to just wear pants, a sweatshirt, and a hat. Like, that's just what I'm fine in, right?
Yeah.
But not everybody's like that. So it's important to find a gun that's going to work for you, your lifestyle, like what kind of clothing you wear. And it's also different for men and women, right? A man can have one gun that we carry all the time because we generally wear the same style of clothing all the time. Mm-hmm. Women, it might have to change. If you're wearing a dress today.
Changes a lot.
Yeah, or, yoga pants
tight
or whatever.
Clothes. Yeah, exactly. No belt. So it changes for women a lot. That's kind of normal. So we have a little bit extra work to do as far as we usually have to have more than one gun. And definitely more than one holster.
Yeah.
Depending on what we're wearing. Okay, so Joey Lee says, I just hopped on. What do you think about I'm only doing this question because I am Canadian.
Okay.
What do you think about what's going on in Canada with the truckers? I think that it's awesome. However, I will say this. I am a little worried about how it's going to be spun. Because they're already starting like... oh, they're racist. Oh, they're doing that. Oh, they're, they started warning like, hey, be careful. They're probably going to, plug in some people to start, kind of riot-y stuff and like that. So I'm scared that it may become something that it shouldn't, just because
they're losing control.
The rest of the people are worried that they are losing control and they have to control the narrative. And they, so but I think it's great. I think it's high time that Canada freaking pulls up their pants and does something and fights back, because
they are like, if you think America is spinning out of control, Canada is unbelievable.
It's crazy. The leadership is just crazy. And it's not, it's not like here where you can only run, an 8-year term. They can keep going, and they keep going, and they are screwing things up, and it's just terrible. So I think it's wonderful. I think that I hope that they continue. It is just crazy, Ryan.
Yeah,
you have no idea how big.
All I know is from her family or brothers and dad and stuff. But it's scary what they're doing. The purpose of all of this is control. It's to make people dumb, broken, afraid, is what I like to say. Yeah. If they can keep Americans, Canadians, or people in general dumb, broken, afraid, then the politicians and the big business, they have
all control,
everything that they want.
Which is what leaders, terrible communist leaders have been doing from the beginning, right? So the nail salon that I did go to, that's what she would tell me. She's from Vietnam, and she would say, she's trying to tell me, like, stuff that's happening here is bad. It's going down the wrong path. It is going down the path.
Because these are all the things that happen in Vietnam.
These are all the things that are happening that happened in Vietnam, and they want to keep you dumb, scared, and afraid is what she said, or broke. Sorry, because they keep changing the currency there. So anyway, I think it's awesome.
Jonathan says, hasn't the Canadian government disarmed its population? They actually have one more year.
Yeah.
And then all guns, except for like single shot bolt action, have to be turned in and destroyed.
Yeah, have to be turned in. Everything's already registered. They started that when I was still in Canada as a kid. So I think I was about like 8 years old when the
gun registration started.
Yeah, the gun registration, where they rolled out the gun registration. And then it went from that to slowly, now you're only allowed to have this. Now you're not allowed to have this. Then,
because now they know what you have, which is why.
Then they say, okay, you got to go get a gun license, and you have to join a gun club, and you have to pay $800 a year to be in this gun club, and then you can own, like let's say a Glock handgun, or a rifle. And now they're like, no, people are still doing that, so we need to bring that even further in. So now they're like, now you can't have any of these guns, and they have to be turned in within 2 years, or else
one more year.
Or 1 more year now, but it was 2 years.
Yeah.
Or else you're an automatic felon, automatic fine.
And it's crazy to go to a gun store in Canada because, like, you see the rifles and then you see the handguns there. And the handguns I think I only went to one gun store, which is like a Bass Pro Shop or a Cabela's or something. But they have this big bright red tag on a Glock 19 that says highly restricted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm asking her brother, like, why is it highly restricted? It's just a handgun. So let me share with you guys. There's me spitting a little bit.
Yeah, well, you're like a freaking. I want to nickname you. I need a name for Ryan, like whatever.
The camel.
A camel or a llama or what other animals?
Okay, hold on.
Okay, go.
So I get a text message from Kyle at Bunker Depot.
Okay.
And Kyle's like, "Hey Ryan, are you interested in a full auto Uzi?" And I said, "Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in buying it if it's a good deal, right?" So I said, "How much does the guy want?" And he said the guy wants
the sprinkler.
The sprinkler. The guy wants $4,000. And I said, if this guy has a legit full auto Uzi that is registered for $4,000, I'll take it. I would even
let you buy it.
Of course you would. Anybody would. Because I can flip it instantly for $20,000, right?
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, get me this dude's phone number and let me call him. So I got this dude on the phone. And I'm like, hey man, so tell me about this gun that you got. And I said, is it a fully automatic? And he goes, yeah, man, when you pull the trigger, I mean, the bullets just keep coming out. And I was like, okay. I said, so that sounds like a machine gun to me.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And I said, how much did you pay for this? And he goes, I paid $3,000. So that sets off a warning alarm, right? Because I'm like, there's no way you have a legit Uzi and you paid $3,000. That's not even logical. And I said, where'd you buy this? And he goes, I bought it at a gun show. And I said, do you have a tax stamp? So the tax stamp is a document you got to have from the government that says you're allowed to be in possession of this. I said, do you have one? And he goes, what's a tax stamp? And I was like, okay, so this is not. Now I'm thinking you're an undercover ATF agent trying to set me up.
Right.
So he goes, nah, man, you don't need a tax stamp. I got a bill of sale. And I was like, no, if it's a machine gun, you need a tax stamp.
Right.
So anyway, I'm telling this to this guy, and I'm like, listen, man, I can tell and I actually said this. I said, sir, I can tell that you don't know anything about guns.
Right.
Okay, I can tell that from our conversation. And I said, you need to call ATF. You have an illegal machine gun. You need to call ATF. Tell them, I've got an illegal machine gun. Can I give this to you without any repercussions? I said, that's your only option here.
Right. And they do that.
They'll do that if it's a legit, you made a mistake.
Yeah.
But then he said, no, I met this guy on the internet. He's driving from Orlando right now, and he's going to buy it for $4,000. I said, that's called an undercover ATF agent. I said, you're going to get arrested, sir. So I don't know what happened, but I just thought it's really interesting that this guy who doesn't understand what's happening, he's got an item that he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
And you're committing crimes that you don't even realize you're committing right now. Right?
Yeah.
So pretty wild.
Pretty crazy. What was that guy that when we had the gun store, he brought in like a grenade?
Yeah, so the guy, his brother died. So he came into the gun store and he was like, hey man, do you buy like old military stuff, guns and stuff? And I said, yeah, I'll buy it. And he goes, I said, what do you have? And he goes, I actually got a full truckload. So I was like, a truckload? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I said, bring it in. I said, bring all of it into my conference
pretty
room.
Old stuff, right? From like the 50s
Vietnam.
or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Said, bring it all into my conference room. Let's look at it. And I said, I'll buy all of it. So like, I'm looking at all these guns and all these boxes full of like Vietnam stuff. And this guy comes and hands me a cardboard tube. And the cardboard tube says M82 frag grenade. And he goes, as he hands it to me, he goes, be careful, it's live. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, listen, I have hand grenades, right? But they're demilled.
Yeah.
They don't work anymore, right? And they're illegal to own. So I'm thinking, oh, this guy thinks he's got a real grenade, but it's just a demilled grenade like the ones that I buy at a pawn shop for $5.
I was going to say, you can get them at the
gun shows, pawn shops, whatever. So I open up the tube, and the grenade's in there. So I pull it up, and the way you can tell a grenade is demilled is it has a big hole in the bottom. So I pulled it up, I looked on the bottom, and I was like, shit, this is a live hand grenade, man. And I said, where'd you get this? And he said, my brother just died. I'm the executor of his estate. I have to clean up his house. I found all the stuff in his house, and my wife is very stressed that this is a real grenade. And I was like, all right, dude.
No kidding.
I said, all right, dude, I'm going to need your driver's license. And I said, hand it to me right now. So he handed me his ID. I took his driver's license. I took the grenade. I went and put it in my gun safe. And I said, I got to call the bomb squad, dude.
Yeah.
So I called ATF. This was Saturday, and it was Memorial Day weekend. Okay. So I called, and they finally put me through to a field agent or whatever. And I said, hey, bro, I got a hand grenade here. I need somebody to come pick it up or do whatever the hell you guys do. And he goes, why would you call ATF for a hand grenade? And I said, I don't know, because your name is alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. That's why I would call you. And he said, you got to call bomb squad and TPD, Tampa police. So I said, fine. Call the bomb squad, right? Now my employees are some of them are just showing up for work, shift change or whatever. And they're like, dude, you got a grenade? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, open the safe, man. Let me look at it. And I'm like, no, this is not something we're going to play around with, right? Just leave it where it's at. Let's wait for the bomb squad to get here. So the bomb squad dude comes in, right? Again, I'm expecting this dude in a full freaking suit or whatever. Comes in, he's scraggly. He's wearing a Hawaiian
military dude.
He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, flip-flops, and he walks in and he's like, I'm with bomb squad. And I'm like, bullshit. Okay. So he goes, show me this grenade. So I walked over there, opened the safe, and he took it and he's like, he's got it in his hand, right? And he goes, oh, man, it's a freaking M82, man. And he tossed it. And he goes, you want to chuck it in the dumpster? And I was like, no, man, I'm good. But it was just funny how casual the guy was. And the guy, so basically what it was is this guy went to Vietnam. He brought back this grenade, probably others, and just had it sitting in his garage.
Oh, my cheeks hurt from smiling.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, Alan has a question. He said, thoughts on the CRS Firearms Arrest? And thank you for the donation.
Yeah, so are you talking about the, I haven't heard about arrest because I don't really pay attention to this stuff like you guys think I do.
Because you're busy. People just send us the stuff. Okay,
Busy.
wait,
So
Alan,
CRS,
the real AP, he meant CRS.
No, I think they're talking about the binary triggers issue that's happening. So whatever that name of that company is, Rough Something Arms here in Florida. There's been lots of debate about are binary triggers legal.
Yeah, we've been talking about this.
Yeah, but now ATF is actually, even though they do meet the standard and they are a semi-automatic firearm. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
But ATF is just pushing itself and, threatening, sending these cease and desist and stuff, saying.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
Are they pulling lists of everybody who bought it and stuff
Probably.
like that?
I'm sure it's going to be just like the Polymer 80 and all that nonsense. So, yeah, I mean, anytime you have a smart gun owner, entrepreneur, engineer that reads the law,
they will find
discovers
a way
the loophole,
around it.
And now they're pissed off that they sucked that right in the law.
Yeah.
So it is complete BS. I totally get that.
Yeah.
So FRT trigger, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's not much that we can do right now. We just need to litigate
So
it.
that's a drop-in trigger that they're selling, or they're
It's
selling
a
firearms with that in it?
Well, they sell their guns with it too,
Okay,
but it's
gotcha.
a drop-in trigger
Okay.
that basically is just a binary
Just like
kind
a
of trigger,
tack
right?
on or...
Similar to tack on, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy,
So
but...
yes, it says they're confiscating...
Oh, it was a lightning link issue. CRS is a YouTube channel. It was a lightning link issue. Yeah, lightning links are illegal unless they're registered.
What's a lightning link?
A lightning link is a way to modify the sear of a 5.56 and AR-15 to make it shoot full auto.
Yeah, I can't
so
do that.
if that guy is, if you have a real registered lightning link, they're $20,000+.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So if somebody just made a lightning link, which is not difficult to do, and then they put it in a gun for their YouTube channel, you're an idiot.
But it's
it's
like
funny.
you can make a full auto.
Pretty easy.
But you're not allowed to, because unless you buy one that was manufactured before
May 19th of 1986.
1986, May 19th, then
Nothing you can
it's
do.
illegal. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's funny, this happened a long time ago at Tinnerock Gun Range, which is in Lakeland. This guy was there. So there was a bunch of people shooting, right? This guy showed up, had a bunch of machine guns, and the guy just started shooting them. What he didn't realize is that the sheriff of Polk County was at Tinnerock that day. Now, the sheriff actually has a list of every registered machine gun or National Firearms Act item that's in the county, right?
Yep.
So the sheriff's there looking, and he's like, I've never seen, let's just say hypothetically, a Browning M2 on the list in Polk County. So why is this here?
Right.
So he came up to the guy and said, hey, dude, can I see your stamp for this? And the guy didn't have a stamp. So he was illegally manufacturing these in his garage and like an idiot just brought it to the gun range.
Yeah, like if you're going to do that, you keep it on the down low.
You shouldn't do it anyway.
No, I know you shouldn't do it, but I mean, if you are, you just keep that crap hidden. I mean, you shouldn't be out.
It's like being a cocaine dealer and just flaunting it. Dude.
Yeah, walking around.
Do what you're going to do, but nobody needs to know what's happening.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Marco Polo.
Yeah, thanks,
We
Marco
appreciate
Polo.
it.
I love the game
And-
you invented, by the way. It's amazing. Play it all the time in the pool.
We actually do play Marco Polo with the kids all the time. Okay, next question because we're running out of
Next
time.
question is, in regards to short barrel rifles, the law states that a short barrel rifle means a rifle having one or more barrels less than 16 inches in length, and any weapon made from a rifle, whether by alteration, modification, or otherwise, if weapon is modified, has an overall length less than 26 inches. Does this mean that I can't own or purchase a 10.3-inch barrel, such as the Springfield St. Edge pistol? Can you shed some light on what this actually means? Yeah, it's a great question, Eric. So it's an AR pistol. That is a handgun. So that's not a rifle. Because your AR pistol does not have a real shoulder stock on it or the ability to quickly mount a shoulder stock, but instead it has a pistol brace, which is just a tube, right? You can't put a stock on it. And then it has a SIG arm brace or something of that nature, which you can shoulder legally, but it was not designed to be shouldered. It was designed for people that have disabilities and medical issues to be able to strap the gun to their arm. So it is classified as a handgun. That's what you have, is a handgun.
Yeah.
But I have, right behind me, a real short barrel rifle that's a 7-inch barrel with a real Troy PDW stock on it.
And then you can put the stock, you can put the forward grip on there.
Vertical grip, all that stuff, but that's because it's a real registered short barrel rifle. So my gun is smaller than yours, but the difference is mine has a real stock, yours does not have a stock.
And you're allowed, because a lot of people don't know about the
vertical grip.
The vertical grip. And he can have a vertical grip on on his rifle, whereas if you have a pistol, you can't have a vertical grip.
If you put a vertical first, whoever thought that this made sense?
Because this all of a sudden makes the gun very dangerous.
Yeah, so if you put a vertical grip on a pistol, like let's just say a Glock to keep this simple, that actually transforms it into a short barrel rifle, even though it doesn't have a stock.
Yes.
Again, like the logic
So
here
don't do
is
that.
unbelievable.
But you can do the angled foregrip, right?
You can do an angled foregrip,
Which is crazy. So you can do like a what's it called? What is stop? What are those called? Finger stop.
Yeah.
So you can do
a hand
finger
stop.
Okay. Really quick, Gloria, we read your email. We responded like 5 minutes after you sent the email, and we sent a video actually. So if you didn't get that, check your spam, please, because we did reply. I was wondering why you hadn't.
Oh, is that
back.
Gloria?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay, don't talk about it.
don't talk about it.
Gloria had some wild shit happen.
You're not supposed to talk about it. So we'll tell it another day under another name. So, you have one more question, sweetie.
One more
I
question.
think. Yeah,
There we go.
Let's do it.
If somebody comes to my front door and starts shooting through the glass in the door, am I allowed to shoot, or do I have to wait until he breaks through the door? No. Kill everyone. Okay. Oh, these are 2 questions. All right, so let's answer the first one. So, you know, if I'm in my house and somebody is like actively shooting into my house, this is a race now.
That qualifies.
Like, this is Fallujah. We're turning Valrico into Fallujah, okay? Lincoln will have a rifle. Tiffany will have a rifle. Jackson will be up in the bathroom. Like, it's going to be rough. So, so bottom line, if you're shooting rounds into my house, my family's going to take a position of cover, and I am going to kill you. Is the bottom line. I don't have to wait for you to come into my house because you are shooting at me.
I think what they want to know is it legal?
I'm shooting.
Okay, yes.
I can't give you legal advice.
But if somebody is shooting into your home, you know.
Do you have a reasonable fear of imminent death?
Yes.
Yes. Are you in a place you have a right to be? Yes. Are you committing a crime? No. Is the use of deadly force immediately necessary? Yes.
Yes.
Those are all the requirements.
Do you have a fear of imminent death? Did you already ask that?
Yeah, reasonable belief in imminent death.
Yes.
So, yes, you're going to die if you don't do something. And the SWAT team's not going to get there fast enough, so you got to let them fly and let God decide.
Yeah.
And
although I would if it was me, I would get my family out the back door and run. I mean, because you don't.
No, you got to hide, take a position of cover. Somebody who's doing that, I would also expect that there's like another team out back or whatever.
Yeah, it's just weird. I think this is just like a.
I know, hypothetical. But this is exactly why you want to have an AR-15. Handguns are not always good enough, okay? So we have an amazing new course coming out called AR-15 Secrets. Make sure you head over to ar15secrets.com. Put in your email address so that when it launches, you're going to be the first to know.
You don't have a little thingy for it?
No, I need you to make one.
AR15secrets.com.
So, and in the first chapter, I share why it is mandatory for everyone to own an AR-15. As Clint Smith says, the purpose of a handgun is to fight your way to a rifle. Handguns don't always do what they need to do. And if you're ever involved in a gunfight, a bad situation, we don't want this to be a fair fight. We want to have superior firepower, superior training. We want to overwhelm the enemy so that they just don't even know what the hell is going to happen. And the only way I can do that is with a rifle.
Okay, Gloria says, thank you. You can talk about it now. I've calmed down. So if you guys want to hear a crazy story, we're going to share a crazy story. But before we share this crazy story, okay, I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, so Ryan, they were saying that he didn't actually make this. They were saying that he just drew it on the YouTube channel. So isn't there a book that tells you how on Amazon that tells you how to make full autos?
What's funny right now is if you guys go on Amazon has a bunch of wild stuff that they just listed, like how to make IEDs. Okay, it's funny that I get in trouble for selling a backpack on Amazon that has a pouch for a grenade, but somebody can sell the military. This is a book from the Department of Defense for the U.S. Army on how to make an improvised explosive device that is literally for sale on Amazon right now, or it was a week ago. Yeah. So, what's interesting is if you guys try to Google like how to make a silencer, how to make a machine gun or whatever, nothing will pop up because Google and ATF, they already find all that stuff and they remove it super quick.
So what I was asking though is, do they have laws, like if this guy didn't even make that piece?
So again, this is just, if it's just a drawing, I think this is just intimidation.
Right.
I think they're using him as an example to say, hey, we don't want you to do this kind of thing. And we're going to, because again, you guys all know the police can arrest you. It doesn't mean the charges are going to stick, but it's going to scare the crap out of you.
Exactly. And it's going to cost you some money.
Yeah.
Just like when you got arrested, it cost us like $6,000.
Yeah.
So, and then somebody's like, oh, well, when the charges get dropped, you get your money back. No, you don't get your money back. Bastards.
Yeah.
So, we are going to tell the story of Gloria. So Gloria has been following us for quite some time. I mean, she has your Florida lock. I mean, I recognize her. I see her. You know, I knew who she was when she emailed. So she has the Florida Shoot, Don't Shoot book. She emails us last week and she tells us what happened to her. So she's so thankful that she kind of knew what to do, but she's walking. I think she said she was at Walmart. She's walking in the parking lot. She notices, she's got situational awareness. She notices that there's somebody walking in between the cars that looks fishy. Okay.
Doing things that, again, our goal with situational intuitive awareness is to look for things that don't make sense.
Don't make sense or look off, right? So you know when somebody's doing something they shouldn't do, you can always kind of tell because they're kind of sketchy. They're looking around and they just look out of place, right? So she...
Like Joe Biden does in the White House.
So first thing is she recognized that, right?
Yeah.
So I guess she has a purse that she's got the, you know, the little zipper there on the side where you pull it down and then you can actually put your hand in your purse and put your hand on your firearm. So she decided that she was going to do that. So she did that, and she unlocks the back of her car. She puts her groceries in. She closes the door. She locks it right away, which is smart. So she's thinking, right? She's keeping an eye on this guy. She goes around to the driver's side, and I guess she said, like, her key fob, it's one of
automatically unlocks the door
when you're so close to it, which, you know, is not always a good thing. So she gets in her car, and she says, before I had enough time to lock my door, he opened the door from the passenger side. He's got a switchblade
in his hand, already open.
And a mask on. And, like, holy crap.
So
like,
the dude's getting into the car now, right?
This guy's on it, right? Yeah. And she had her firearm, and I kind of forget the rest of the story, but I think
she had her gun.
Saw it, right?
She pulled her gun out, and she already had the gun pointed at him.
Yeah.
Because she saw it all happening.
Yeah.
The guy saw the gun, took off running, and it was ended. You know, I think this was very amazing, Gloria. I'm very proud of you.
So
I think
great.
It's so awesome that you were aware of what was happening. You had enough awareness to identify that potential threat, start orienting yourself and really getting ready because that's the goal, right? Sometimes we can't totally stop the violent attack,
right,
but at least you can be ready for it.
Yeah. So, but this is a great situation or a great example of using your firearm to stop, but she didn't have to.
Even though I think she had a legal right to just smoke that guy.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
But if she would have shot him, you got legal problems, you're on the news.
This is
like, it's going to be horrible, right?
If the guy can just take off and go and you're safe and you stop the bad guy from doing whatever he was about to do, perfect. But I love how she tells how she's telling her husband this story, and you got to think like he must just be thinking like, oh my gosh, I wasn't there to protect you, right? But she handled it perfectly, and he had a smile on her face. I think he bought her that gun. I think she said like 4 years ago or something like that. So great job. Think it's awesome. I just think
and you know wonderful. It's just so funny to me because every single day I have people in the class that tell me, well, I'm going to get my permit, but I'm not going to carry the gun. And I'm like, well, why aren't you going to carry it? Well, I mean, nothing just happens. Nothing happens. Yeah. Listen, nothing happened to Gloria.
Yeah.
Until it happened.
Right. And
then it's too late.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the gun with you, on you, if you're not already trained and ready, it's too late. It's kind of like saying, but also, I'm going to drive down the freeway not wearing a seatbelt, and only when I'm going to get in a car accident am I going to put my seatbelt on.
Yeah. Good luck
There's
with that.
not enough time. You already lost.
You already lost, yeah. And the cool thing was, too, because this is why we go over these scenarios and we talk about this stuff when we do the, shoot, don't shoot scenarios. It really prepares you because I always try to explain to people that there's two parts, right? You have to be physically prepared, like you have to be physically trained with your firearm, but then you also have to be mentally prepared. And there's a lot that goes into mental preparedness. I mean, you have to understand, first and foremost, you have to understand the laws. What are you legally allowed to do, right? Because you don't want to do something that you're not legally allowed to do and then end up, like Michael Draca or any of these other people that are spending, 15, 20 years in jail. They thought they were fine.
Yeah, so I call this the 3 pillars of self-defense. So pillar number 1 is awareness. Now, to be able to effectively defend yourself in a self-defense situation, you have to master all 3 of these. Number 1 is awareness. You have to master visual and auditory awareness and the ability to keep your head on a swivel. Pillar number 2 is effective decision-making. So effective decision-making can only be accomplished if you have a deep understanding of Florida concealed carry law and Florida shoot or don't shoot scenarios. Yep. And pillar number 3 is the application of skill. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people out there that may be aware. Very few people, I'll tell you this confidently, understand Florida law. Yeah. So if you guys do, if you've been following me for a long time, you're way ahead of most people.
Yeah.
But the last one is the application of skill. Just because you have a gun doesn't mean you're going to be able to get the gun out, orient it towards the threat, and make effective hits on the target. Mm-hmm. That's where things like the Sheepdog Masterclass come into play. Mm-hmm. You've got to be able to get your gun out confidently, get accurate hits on the target without hurting yourself or anybody else.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And don't underestimate like the what happens to your body when you're under extreme stress, right? The dexterity and everything in your fingers just goes. Like I still so remember when Lincoln fell off the back of that recliner, and I promise you, it took me at least 5 or 6 times to dial 911, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I was so panicked, I kept hitting different numbers, and then I had to stop, and then I had to backwards, and it was a nightmare. I was so stressed because he was completely unconscious and like eyes rolled back in his head. So really quick, I had someone ask, okay, Ryan, what do you think about the Hellcat? He said he's carrying, I'm currently carrying an APX Centurion, but wanted something smaller. The Hellcat is an awesome gun.
Yeah, I really like the Hellcat. It's a little bit snappy, but I was shooting with a student a couple days ago, and he really liked the Hellcat.
Yeah, I think
the sights are amazing.
I think it's a great gun. A lot of our students carry it. A lot of our students love it. The snappiness, I think that,
it's manageable. It's not like it's a big deal.
It's not
same as all little guns out there.
I was going to say, it's the same as any smaller gun. It's never going to be as great as shooting a full-size firearm. But I think it's a great gun. It's a perfect size, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great size.
High capacity. Yeah, it's pretty much everything you want.
All right.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
All right, guys.
808.
Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you. Have a great night.
See you next Monday, as long
Peace.
as Ryan doesn't get banned.
Which is very possible.